Shattered Veil's main Easter egg is one of the best Easter eggs we've got in so many years, and I'd recommend everybody to at least give it a shot, because it really is that fun. Now, whether you've been trying the Easter egg and you haven't been able to, or you just really want to know the best possible way to do it, then this video is for you, because I'm going to be giving you guys the best tips and tricks on how to beat this main quest. And trust me, they're going to be helpful. And if you guys do find this helpful, I would appreciate if you guys showed some support on the channel by dropping a like, subscribing, bell, share, or any of that great stuff. And with that said, let's beat the Shattered Veil's main Easter egg. Now, the first overall tip I want to give you guys is that a lot of these Easter egg steps can be done earlier than you could expect. Like, you pick up things earlier than what maybe they tell you in an Easter egg guide, and that's what I want to point out. And to start this all out, I want to talk about the two reflectors that you get in the two fountains. You can actually pick these up right away at the start of the game. You don't have to do anything, get a canister, Raygun Mk2, or anything like that. And you have them ready for later, so you don't have to backtrack and pick these up later, because you're going to run by them anyways when you're opening the map. And much like that, the bell for the blue portrait Easter egg step can be picked up right at the start of the game too. And this one I really recommend you guys do, because this thing is really difficult to see, and it's better to do it at the start of the game when there's less zombies and less aggressive zombies. And then also you can pick up the lamp right away too. And if you really wanted to, you could even do the Simon Says with it right away before anything else too, and open up the secret room also. And much like that, two of the canisters could actually be picked up before you even get a Raygun Mk2. And the two I'm talking about is the one with the valves and the tube, and then one of the zombies spawned by double tap. And what's even more is that you could actually start two of the Raygun upgrade processes before even getting a Raygun Mk2, because you have these two canisters. Now, I don't know how much I recommend doing that, but you can do that. But kind of backtracking a little to those two canisters and how to get them, I mean, one of them requires you to have tomahawks, and some people are just not high enough level to equip them to their class or even craft them in the crafting machine. But thankfully, Treyarch thought of this, and they actually gave us two free tomahawks around the map. And there's going to be one inside of spawn, and there's also going to be one right next to Pack Punch. And that's all you're going to need as long as you hit the right valves and you don't miss. And then also, for the Casimir canister, there's actually a free Casimir at the bottom of the map on this dead body here. Now, talking about the Raygun Mk2 itself, we all know there's a side quest to get it, but did you know for the step to get the code, there's only 4 possible words you could get, and those are going to be Yeti, Crab, Worm, and Moth? But did you also know that there's also only 4 possible chalkboards that could spawn in? Well, this is actually great, because now we actually make solvers for all of these. And I know this is a very easy thing to do even without a solver, but what makes the solver nice is that if you can figure out which chalkboard you have at the start of your game, by the time you actually get your word, which is going to be later, you won't have to backtrack over to that chalkboard. And that's what actually makes the solver helpful. And here's the solver here. You can screenshot it if you want to. But how this works is that you'll see at the top these random letters, and what this is marking off is which chalkboard you got. And you know this because if you look at the top left corner, there's going to be the first section of letters, and that's going to tell you which of these chalkboards it is. And then from there, just match it to your word, and then you'll have your code. But now I want to move on to my favorite tip, and this has to do with the pods for the yellow Raygun upgrade. Because normally what you would do, you'd wait till you get to the Raygun Mk2 and then actually shoot these pods to get the seeds, or if you really knew what you were doing, you could actually throw grenades at them, and that would also drop the seeds. But there's even a better way to do this, and all you have to do this is just spawn in with a gun that could put a launcher under barrel. It doesn't matter which one, whatever is your favorite one, pick that gun. And when you do that, the launcher you want to put on is rather the default launcher that explodes on impact, or you can put on the crossbow one. Either one of those, pick those, and all you have to do is right as you spawn in, when you see these pods, you can shoot them with a grenade launcher and they'll drop a seed, and you won't have to backtrack to them later or anything like that. And also, you won't have to waste money on salvage to buy grenades either. Now, for the next step of the yellow Raygun upgrade, you have to put those seeds into incubators and defend them. And normally what people do is that they do one at a time, and they'll just hold last zombie and they just defend it like that, and that's a completely fine way to do it. I still do that in most of my games, but some people like to do multiple at a time, and that's not easy to do. But I'll give you a couple tips on how to do multiple at a time, but it's still going to be difficult. Now, there's the obvious ones. You could use decoys. That'll keep zombies away from them. You also have Casimir black hole grenades. That'll keep zombies away from them for a decent amount of time. Or even you could use Frenzy Guard, because Frenzy Guard will make all the zombies attracted to you and not the incubators anymore. And especially if you pair that with extension on Frenzy Guard so it lasts longer, that can make it even better. And then finally, for the bottom two, there's actually a trap that you could activate to keep the zombies off of one, and you could actually stand all the way in the back and kind of keep an eye on the two bottom ones at the same time. Now again, this is going to take practice. It's not going to work the first time you do it because it is a bit difficult, but if you do want to use these tips, they could definitely help. Now for another ray gun upgrade, this is going to be for the full auto blue one, and it's after the abomination step, which unfortunately I don't have any tips for that, but there's a lockdown step. But there's a way to completely skip this practically, and all you have to do is at the start of your game just spawn in with energy mine, and not just with any energy mine. You have to put on for your major augment turret, and then for your minor augment extra charge. And what this is going to do is by the time you get to this step, you'll have 2 charges of this turret, and you just place both of them down and it'll defend it for you, and you don't even need to be here anymore. And after a while, just run to the canister and it'll be able to be picked up. This is a trick that speedrunners do, and I've included in my game, and makes it very nice. But keep in mind, after you use your 2 turns, immediately swap to a different field upgrade because you're going to need different ones for the rest of the Easter egg. Now for the yellow portrait, where you have to go into Ether Shroud and find the 3 items, what I actually recommend doing is running Ether Shroud with extension, just so it lasts longer. But the real tip with this one is that even though your Ether Shroud may run out, these items could still be picked up for a long time after your Ether Shroud ran out. For example, one time my Ether Shroud ran out while I was still in the yellow portrait room, and I was able to still run all the way to the elevator by that fireplace and still pick up that item. So my main tip is here, even though your Ether Shroud runs out, still check those spots because there's a chance it could still be pick upable. And with all this talk of field upgrades, there's actually a free full power up that you could actually crouch right here and shoot. Now you could rather shoot it and use it during the Easter egg, or you could actually put a C4 on it right here and then save it for the boss fight. It's up to you how you want to use it, because I think it is as useful using it either ways, because the field upgrade isn't that helpful in the boss fight, but can be a little helpful. Also, there's a free double points right outside the map here that you can use at any point that you want. I recommend doing it. Now this finally brings us to the boss fight. Now I actually made a video completely breaking down the boss fight, the best strategies and setups and all of that stuff that in fact if you guys want to check out, I'll link on screen right now. But I actually forgot to mention 2 things that I really regret not putting in that video, so I'm going to mention them here. Now the first thing is to get a free max ammo in the boss fight, because as you guys know, in this boss fight they don't give you any. And what we're going to utilize is a free max ammo on the map. And where I like looking at it from is the pillars area, where you do the blue ray gun upgrade. Now obviously we just don't want to shoot it, but we actually want to put a C4 by it. But the angle is a bit tricky at first, but once you get it, it's pretty easy. And all you want to do is stand right here and then look just a little bit above this wing and throw the C4. And when you do this, it'll work 99% of the time. I really haven't had it mess up throwing it in this angle yet. And from there, you could just blow up that C4 whenever you want, and it'll give you a free max ammo. And this brings me to the next boss fight tip, and this is more targeted for co-op play, because even though the blue Raygun Mk2 isn't the absolute best gun against the boss, it's still super good. And if you're playing solo, just use that gun. You don't need to use any other gun, it's still the best one. But if you are playing co-op, it's a little bit different, because you can only get 1 free Raygun Mk2, and unless you want to spin the box forever, there's actually a really solid option that you could use. And what this is the AMR mod for sniper rifle. This thing is so good and absolutely fries the boss. And in terms of attachments, the only ones you really need is just a red dot, extended mag, and most importantly, rapid fire. And if you have those, you'll be able to absolutely fry this boss. But keep in mind, you will need to get it to Pack Punch level 3 at gold rarity. But again, I only recommend this for co-op, not really solo, because if you do run it solo, you are going to have to use this AM4 for the start of your game, and that's just a bit annoying in my opinion. And also, you won't be able to put a grenade launcher under barrel for the other tip I talked about earlier in this video. And with that, that is all the tips and tricks I have for you guys for the Shattered Veils main Easter egg. Like I said at the start of the video, if you guys did find this video helpful, I'd appreciate if you guys showed some support by dropping a like and subscribing. And with that said, I'm gonna go, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.